find it hard to spend money on clothes that you might think are a bit expensive for fear that you're going to make an expensive mistake? Well, this is the question Michelle sent me. She said, I have trouble giving myself permission to purchase more expensive items that in the long run I will love and use more than the cheap stuff. How can I overcome this? So the reason is it's because we've made some mistakes that were expensive, and so we wish to not make those same mistakes again. And this is where we then err on the side of, kind of really limiting what we spend to some very small budget, just in case what we buy is wrong. And now, given that on average, we wear 10 to 20% of our wardrobes, most of us, and that's all according to all the research, that's probably a good fear to have, because it's a relevant fear, because we do spend money on things we don't wear. So how do you know what are going to be the things that you will get the wear from, so are worth spending the money on? This is where getting that education in colour and style is so important. It's understanding what works for you, your personality, your lifestyle, your location, your body, your colouring, all the things that go into style. Really, it's getting that full education and doing an analysis of your lifestyle and these things. What do you actually need in your wardrobe? What's actually missing? What are the gaps? That is where, when you have your own set of personalised style criteria and you know what you need, then when you do see that item that is a bit more expensive than, and that you might otherwise question, should I buy this? This is when you know that it is worth spending the money on. So this is why getting that style education is so valuable, because it can stop you making the expensive mistakes, but also give yourself permission to buy the good things. And I know for myself, this was something that I really struggled with. I remember the very first thing that I ever bought that was full price and over $100, and we're talking, 30 years ago. It felt like a massive amount of money, but I'd realized that it was a color I wore all the time. It was actually going to go with lots and lots of different other things that I already owned. And so therefore it would be versatile. It was something I could dress up or down, again, making it versatile. And it was a little bit different, which suited my personality. So it had all the criteria that I wanted in a garment, and I bought it, and I wore that so many times. That top got worn out. It hit the point where I had to throw it out because it was falling to pieces, but it got worn and worn and worn. Its cost per wear was minimal, and that's because I knew the criteria and that fit my criteria. So even though it felt a little bit scary spending more money on it, I knew it was the right decision. And whenever I've gone in and I've known that it was the right thing. So if you are questioning, will it, won't it? I don't know. Does it go? Doesn't really go with anything else I already own. It's not a color I normally wear. All those sorts of things. Probably the idea is to say no. But when you have your color palette and you know your signature colors and you know how to put them together for you, your color and value contrast, this is part of your style criteria. You can very easily then knock out the clothes, and the colors that aren't working. When you know what shapes and styles work for you, you know what your lifestyle is. There's no point in buying a white silk dress when you're a mum of a 2-year-old and you have a very relaxed lifestyle. There's very little point in doing that. But what you may need is the best pair of jeans that make you feel really, really great, and getting a great pair of jeans that, fits well, looks good, and gives you the confidence you want, but is something you are going to wear all the time. So this is why we want to have that style criteria, and this is why getting that style education is so important. And it's why I put my 7 Steps of Style program together, because that is aimed at getting you that information, because you can spend, a few $100s on that style education that will save you hundreds of thousands of dollars potentially over your lifetime. And that is currently, the statistics that say I'm going to spend, 150 odd to $500,000 over our lifetime on clothing and apparel for ourselves, which is kind of a scary number, particularly since so many people are wearing clothes or have clothes in their wardrobe that they don't wear and they don't love. And this is because you didn't get the style education at school. It's not something you ever got from a fashion magazine. And so this is why we need to get that. And then you'll actually overcome it, because you'll give yourself permission when you know you hit that right thing. So when you have a list of the clothes you really, really want. It's like going to the supermarket. You know, when I take my shopping list of these are the ingredients I need to make the dishes I'm going to make this week, because I do a little menu plan, then when I'm in the stores, I just buy that. I don't think about it. Same thing for your wardrobe. When you know what your holes are, when you know what you really need, when you've got your criteria, that's your shopping list. So when you hit that right thing, you'll know it and you'll be okay about spending the money. And also too, sometimes it can be worth looking into what are our money messages that we've had growing up. You know, that it's shallow to worry about what you wear. It's shallow to spend money on clothing. Well, we have to be not naked. You know, people don't like us getting around naked. In fact, most places you get arrested if you decided to walk around the streets naked. So therefore you have to wear clothing. So it's not a waste of money to have some. Clothes need to be washed. Clothes wear out. You need different things for different seasons, and you need different things for different occasions. And there is so much research that shows that what you wear impacts other people as well as yourself psychologically. I've actually just been reading a fascinating study about color, and it's a meta study, which is a study of all the studies that have happened. So it's something like 132 studies over 128 years. So from the 1890s up to 2022. And they said that there are certain colors that we all have the same emotional reactions to. So it is not shallow. We are having emotional reactions, and we make our decisions based on emotions. And so therefore, not shallow, not something that doesn't matter. This is something that actually have a big impact on your life and the opportunities that you have and how you feel and how you behave. So get the education, and that will hopefully free you up to make those great decisions to get the things in your wardrobe that you really want and that will be really useful, and that you'll be one of the people who wears 80% of their wardrobe most of the time, and 20% is because it's a special occasion, but you'll wear it when you have those special occasions.